Hi there, science fans! Today, we're diving deep into the amazing world of cells, the tiny building blocks that make up all living things. Just like you have a brain that controls everything you do, cells have a special compartment called the... Think of it as the cell's very own command center. The nucleus is like the boss of the cell. It holds all the important information and instructions that the cell needs to grow, function, and even reproduce. Without a nucleus, the cell would be lost, like a ship without a captain. So, are you ready to explore the world of the cell nucleus? Let's put on our scientist hats and dive in. The nucleus is like a busy office building with many important departments working together. Let's take a tour and meet the key players. First, we have this is like the building's outer wall, protecting the nucleus and everything inside. But don't worry, it's not a solid wall. The nuclear envelope has tiny doors that allow important molecules to go in and out. Imagine these pores as special delivery chutes for important messages and supplies. Inside the nucleus, we find a jelly-like substance called think of this as the office space where everything floats around. It's within this bustling environment that we find the real stars of the show and In the next section, we'll learn about how DNA and the nucleolus are essential for the cell's survival. So, stick around. The journey into the cell nucleus is just getting started. Now let's meet the superstar of the nucleus. DNA is like a giant instruction manual that contains all the genetic information needed to build and run an entire organism. It's like the blueprint for life itself. But DNA is very long and thin. If we unraveled all the DNA in a single human cell, it would stretch almost 6 feet long. To fit all that information inside the tiny nucleus, DNA is tightly coiled and packaged into structures called. Imagine chromosomes like organized bundles of thread, with DNA being the thread itself. This bundled form of DNA is called. This clever packaging system allows the cell to store a massive amount of information within the nucleus. The nucleus protects this precious genetic information, ensuring it can be passed down accurately when cells divide. Pretty impressive, right? Section 4, Building Blocks of Life, from nucleus to ribosomes. Remember the nucleolus we mentioned earlier? This spherical structure inside the nucleus has a vital job. It's the ribosome factory. What are ribosomes, you ask? Well, if DNA holds the blueprint for building proteins, then ribosomes are the construction workers that put those proteins together. Proteins are the workhorses of the cell, carrying out all sorts of essential tasks. The nucleolus takes instructions from DNA and uses them to assemble ribosomes. These newly built ribosomes then travel out of the nucleus through the nuclear pores and into the cytoplasm, where they get to work building proteins. So you see, the nucleus doesn't just store genetic information. It actively participates in putting that information into action by creating the tools needed to build proteins. Section 5. The conductor of the cell, how the nucleus runs the show. The nucleus is a master conductor orchestrating all sorts of cellular activities. One of its main jobs is controlling gene expression. Think of genes like individual recipes within the giant cookbook of DNA. Each gene contains the instructions for building a specific protein, but the cell doesn't need to make every protein all the time. That would be like cooking every recipe in a cookbook at once. The nucleus carefully controls which genes are turned on or turned off at any given time. This ensures that the cell produces only the proteins it needs at that specific moment, conserving energy and resources. The nucleus also plays a crucial role in cell division. Before a cell divides, the nucleus makes a copy of all its DNA. This ensures that each new daughter cell receives a complete set of genetic instructions. From controlling gene expression to managing cell division, the nucleus is a true multitasking marvel. Section 6. The heart of the cell. Why the nucleus matters. As we've explored today, the nucleus is far more than just a storage locker for DNA. It's a dynamic, bustling control center that governs nearly every aspect of a cell's life. Without the nucleus, cells wouldn't be able to function, grow, or reproduce. Life as we know it simply wouldn't exist. So next time you think about the amazing complexity of living organisms, remember the tiny but mighty nucleus, the heart of the cell and the conductor of life's grand symphony. Keep those questions bubbling and never stop exploring the wonders of science.